Today from Arlington, Washington, it's time to determine the Group 1 winner. Will it be Player of the Year frontrunner E.J. Tackett? He's the top seed in his group, and he's ready to roll. Time to start day 2 of the 2023 PBA Tour Finals from the Strikers Bowling Center at the Angel of Winds Casino and Resort in Arlington, Washington. We're north of Seattle, and today's time for Stepladder Bowling in Group 1 and Group 2. We started with the top 8 in points over the last 2 years. Now we start 5 hours of live coverage, 3 shows, Stepladder semifinals in both groups, capped off by a race-to-2 match, then a race-to-2 championship match between the 2 group winners. Yesterday in Group 1, E.J. Tackett took the top seed, followed by Kyle Troop, Don Barrett, and Jacob Buttriff. In Group 2, 7-time Player of the Year, Jason Belmonte, the number 1 seed with a 969 total pinfall, followed by Pacu Hanrahan, the two-handed lefty, Simonson, and Chris Braver. Welcome, bowling fans, to suburban Seattle. Great to have you with us, David Ryan, along these great fans. Amazing here, Strikers, and the Hall of Famer, Randy Peterson. As always, RP, they love you wherever we go. We love the fact we have 5 hours of live coverage coming up here on CBS Sports Network, 3 shows, and when the dust settles, 1 champion.
Man, they're already raising hell here in the great Northwest. Great bowling fans, and what better venue to display some of the greatest talents in the sport. We're talking about the top 8 over the last 2 seasons, the biggest names in the sport, and we're going to start with the number 1 player on tour in 2023, E.J. Tackett. What a season this man has had, Dave. 2 major wins. Here he is winning the U.S. Open in his home state of Indiana. Taking down Kyle Troop in the title match, and then on to the World Championship, where he disposed of Jason Belmonte to win his 2nd major of the season. E.J. Tackett with 5 wins is looking to do something this season that hasn't been done in 30 years. That's captured title number 6. The last time it was done, 1993, Walter Ray Williams Jr. won 7 times.
E.J. Tackett, Jason Belmonte, only 2 to win this event twice. E.J. goes for number 3 today. Stepladder bowling, we start with Buttriff and Barrett. The winner takes on Kyle Troop. E.J. Tackett trying for his 6th title of 2023 and 22nd of his career. Top seed. He and his opponent will bowl a race-to-2 match for the group and a spot in the championship match later today here in Arlington, Washington. We can't wait for bowling. It's on the way on CBS Sports Network. Look at this 4 great bowlers ready to go. Barrett, Troop, Tackett, Buttriff is next.
The 2023 PBA Tour Finals on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Go Bowling. For friends and family fun, log on to GoBowling.com to find a center near you. And by Guaranteed Rate. With same-day mortgage, you go from application to approval in as fast as 1 day. And close on your dream home in as little as 10 days. Learn more at Rate.com.
Beautiful, scenic Seattle. Getting ready for bowling here on CBS Sports Network. Let's take a look, Randy, at today's roll patterns. The left lane, Wayne Webb, and on the right, Earl Anthony.
Yeah, Earl Anthony a little longer and much heavier, so the players are going to use stronger equipment. You're going to see them feeding that right around that track area. And Jacob Buttriff, well, in game 1, he'll have that left side of the lane to himself. He's going to be playing about the same as the righties. On the left lane, expect to see a lot of urethane and fairly straight and tight up the lane. Jacob, he's still going to be kind of curving that side of the lane.
An 8-time PBA Tour champion with 1 major title, Jacob Buttriff.
Time to bowl in Arlington, Washington. Kicking off 5 hours of live coverage. Day 2, PBA Tour Finals underway. Buttriff.
Whoa.
4-pin. He told us during the warm-ups pre-show, got to avoid shooting at spares today. He has got it. He had a strike streak going, not the start he wanted.
Missed a couple 7-pins yesterday, and his entire routine for shooting spares has changed, especially at the 7-pin. Although that was a 4-pin, obviously, but You know, he used to throw the ball straight and fast, and he's now gone to his regular release with a plastic ball.
He owns 10 PBA Tour titles with 3 major wins representing England. Dom Barrett.
Dom is back. Finalist ran a year ago. Lost to Belmo in the championship match.
Yep, we actually saw Dom last night at the steakhouse.
He seemed to have enjoyed himself.
He did.
As did we.
Did not offer to pick up our tab.
That never came up, did it? Dom's day starts. Great shot, 1-3 pocket, crunches it. All 10 back.
Both players starting with purple hammer. That's urethane. And I expect Dom to be going with the same piece of equipment on the left lane. Take a look at the beautiful style of Dom Barrett. Remember the struggles he had with his game during COVID. He got his swing straightened out and got back into the winner's circle again. Beauty.
Both bowlers told us pre-show, forget yesterday, move on to today. Unique first ball to trophy-raising coverage of the PBA Tour Finals. The qualifying game by game for Buttriff yesterday. Part of 4 hours of live coverage. The final 5 today. Corner pin. No help on the 7.
A lot of attention on the 7, but no love.
April 18th, life-changing moment for Jacob. PBA Scorpion Championship, part of the Guaranteed Rate PBA World Series of Bowling. Bolero Wauwatosa outside Milwaukee. Number 1 seed. Buttriff knocked off EJ Tackett, 225-217. A wild finish in the 10th frame. 8th career PBA Tour title. First championship for him in 4 years. Tackett in the 10th. Well, he left the 10 pin. Buttriff strikes here. His first win since the 2019 PBA Lubbock Sports Shootout. What a moment for Jacob.
And take a look at Jacob Buttriff's unique release. Look at what he does with that wrist right there. Isn't that crazy? Try to get your wrist in that position and not break it. And that's what creates all that power.
Back to Dom. Great start continues. Now, we asked Jacob this week about that very thing. We said, did any of your coaches along the way when you grew up ever want to change your release or change your approach with the wrist being like that? He said, I was so good, no one wanted to do it. No one ever suggested a change because he was just awesome. It is unorthodox, but it's pretty effective.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you just look at the end result, right, it's like what is the ball doing out of his hand and the rotation, the revolutions, the power.
Numbers for Dom yesterday. 866 total pinfall. On fire to begin match 1.
And Dom through 4 is just beating up the 1-3 pocket. Another beauty here by Dom Barrett. We were talking to him about how long it took him to get here, and because of the route from England, it was only, he said, 10 hours?
Not bad.
I thought it was going to be a lot longer. It took us 2 days to get here.
Had some troubles with storms in Florida, didn't we? Buttriff right lane, that looks good. 8 titles a major to his credit as we check out his arsenal.
Well, a lot of window dressing there, but we know the ball that he loves to go to, and that's the purple hammer at the bottom of that arsenal list. Troublemaker, you can see there the hook potential, the Troublemaker named after Dave Ryan.
Never. Not true. Buttriff needs this here with Dom's great start. He's got it. All right. 11 pin difference. Match 1. Turkey for Butters.
9 shots thrown, 7 strikes. Buttriff hanging in there. And he needed that hit to try to stay close to Dom Barrett, who's perfect through 4.
Dom was in 4th place in group play last year, day 1. but made the finals, lost the Belmo championship match. Looking to stay perfect. 7 down late. Continues the great start. 5 up, 5 down.
Group 1's collective average yesterday, 218. Group 2's collective average, 233.
And Randy, we have a Pabst six-pack alert. If the Dominator strikes here, you'll win $1,000 sponsored by Pabst Blue Ribbon of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Please remember to drink responsibly. Looking for half a dozen of $1,000. How about some help? Oh, there it is.
Oh!
Messenger, meet the 10-pin. Bye-bye.
How dare the 10-pin try to deny my six-pack fun?
Remember, at this event last year on Sunday, we had 2 300 games. One from Troop, one from Belmonte.
You already went there? You went there already?
You have to go there, Randy. He's got 6 in a row. More coming up. Back in Arlington, Washington, Buttriff down 31 pins. That's because Dom Barrett perfect, halfway home for a 300 game. 2 300s here last year on Sunday. We saw 300 with E.J. Tackett. PBA Super Slam Cup did not officially count. Was not a PBA Tour title event. We might have some more perfection today.
Buttriff didn't like that. As soon as he let go of it, you could see by his posture, I stand straight up and down, and he knew it was going to go wide to the left and come up light.
Has the mark, but he needs strikes. It was 6 total pinfall yesterday for Buttriff here. Better shot, crunches the 1-2 pocket. And now he steps aside and hopes that Dom Barrett gets derailed. It is quest for perfection today.
How many hours did you say we're doing today?
5 today, 4 yesterday.
And there's Dom's arsenal. Again, he too going with Purple Hammer. Two different oil patterns.
Got another one. Oh! I thought he did. How did that pin not fall?
Now it's going to have to be respotted because the rack's going to knock it down because it's so far off spot. I can't remember the last time I saw this. 6 hits to 10 as the 10 skids across the deck. I've seen some footage on social media, on YouTube, of that happening. I can't remember the last time I saw it happen on one of our broadcasts. That is insane.
So it's got to be respotted to the original position since it shifted so much, defying the laws of physics, and at the same time costing him a potential 300 game. So that's a bummer on 2 levels for Dom. I've never seen like it, Randy.
Yeah, I haven't
Not like
either.
that.
You can tell just how fresh those pins are because the bottoms aren't worn. They're really perfectly flat, right? So not a lot of wear and tear on the bottom of those pins. Otherwise, it would have gone down. But, man, if that comes back to haunt Dom Barrett, we'll certainly be able to revisit that 7th frame. Unbelievable.
My next thought, now the match shifts dramatically, and there is a chance. Belmo threw a 300 at Dom in the first game of the race to 2 in the championship round last year. Ring and 10-pin, good shot, no break.
Stupid 10-pin. At least that one didn't move. Another good shot by Dom Barrett. think he's been light once in 8 frames. Everything else dead flush. A great start for him.
After the front 6, back-to-back 9 spares, so 30-pin difference. Here comes Buttriff, and the time is now. Has the strike, cut it to 20. 8th frame, works on a strike. Next up, Kyle Troop.
I mean, if you're Buttriff, you got to think, all right, I got to strike out. If I do, I'll shoot 258. Dom Barrett's already in the 240s.
Got to have it. No luck, corner pin again. It's the 7th pin, just like he said pre-show. He was worried about leaving. It's happened again to him.
Flat 7 for Jacob Buttriff, and now it's all but over. I don't see him getting any help from Dom Barrett. All right, Buttriff's max score now 238. 268 max score for Dom Barrett. Look at your win probability. 88% for Dom. Nope. Fast 8 for the lefty.
Buttriff Group 2 last year, 893 in his positioning games. 4 of those on a Saturday in 2022 in this building. Then lost to Dom Barrett. Rematch of last year. 234, 225. So it's about to happen again. Maybe it was that steak dinner last night. Dom had 8 ounce, he said. Your steak was a little larger last night.
You don't need to tell people that.
What a meal. Drip 10 pin. Barrett cruising toward a match 1 win. And a matchup with Kyle Troop.
Finally, the 10 pin does what it's supposed to do. It goes down. 6 pin goes to the sidewall, cuts the 10 out. 10 pin finally behaving itself after back-to-back 10 pins for Dom Barrett.
Just needs 5. He'll move on. He'll get 10. He'll get the win. Next up for Barrett, Kyle Troop. Dom beat Buttriff by 9 pins, round 1, last year's stepladder in this event. That was Group 2, not Group 1. Then he beat E.J. Tackett, 235, 199. Then Simonson the race to 2 games to none through 279, 246 games at Anthony Simonson.
Not sure that's the way you want to finish, especially when you got Troop waiting in the wings for game 2 for Dom, but a great start for Dom. Just a solid start. He'll be in the 250s. Could have been a lot more if it hadn't been for 2 10 pins, but win's a win. He's moving on. He's going to look at reactive resin. Doesn't care about the count. Well, actually, that was interesting. He threw reactive resin and hooked it at the 4-7.
This is mathematically over. So Buttriff will finish out. Really good season for Jacob. Anytime you're part of the PBA Tour Finals list, the top 8 over the last 2 years in points, you've been bowling really well for 2 straight seasons. It's an elite field of 8 bowlers to get this far. So a lot of good in Buttriff's year. And the end of the long drought with a win at the World Series of Bowling on the Scorpion. Meant so much to him. Barrett, Troop next. Let's go down to Randy.
Thanks, Dave. Tom, I've watched a lot of videos and I've seen that happen with a couple of pins, but I've never seen it live. Have you ever done that with a 10-pin before?
Maybe not live on TV, but yeah, I'm sure at some point it's probably stood up more often when I think it's going to strike and it still stands there, but that's just like normal at the moment, I think.
I mean, what were you thinking when you saw that? I mean, we were like, what the heck did we just see?
Yeah, you see me bold enough to, I try to take the emotion out of it a lot and just get the facts from the lanes from good shots. If they fall over, great. If they don't, I try and make them just a pretty boring answer, I know, but.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
No, you're never boring. And we know that firsthand from last night at the steakhouse. But listen, moving forward, great start to the opening match. How long do you think you can stay into the urethane bowling balls before you have to make an adjustment and go to reactive resin?
Yeah, I'm going to try and stay in it as long as I can. So, whatever happens on the lanes, it makes the lane pretty simple. I found it quite hard yesterday to control the friction in the front and then the friction that was to the right and the oil down lane, but the Purple Hammer seems to blend that more than any other bowling ball in the market.
All right, mate. Good luck. Thanks very much for your time.
Randy, thanks. Tom, thanks. Front 6, 8 strikes. First match for Barrett. Who's next? Kyle Troop. Can't wait. Big showdown in match 2 for the PBA Tour Finals. What a crowd, what an atmosphere here. Angel of the Winds Casino and Resort in Arlington, Washington, north of Seattle. Big win for Dom Barrett, finalist in this event a year ago through a 254 at Jacob Buttriff in our first match. The front 6, 8 strikes, great score. Next up, Troop and Barrett, 2 and 3 seeds. EJ Tackett got to win one match and race the 2 to take the PBA Tour Finals Group 1. It's your daily dose of Jim and Company in the jungle as they tackle the most notorious sports headlines on the Jim Rome Show, weekdays noon Eastern, here on CBS Sports Network. Time to bowl. New look, Kyle Troop. Always be the pro with a fro, but it's a little more svelte now.
I like the new
streamline.
I like it. I like the new dude.
Me too. Looks great. Barrett. Great first game. Good start, game 2.
And a nice shot after his finish from game 1 where he went through the nose in the 10th frame. But is that a dog on the set? What is that?
A 9-time PBA champion with one major title, the 2021 PBA Player of the Year, Kyle Troop.
He doesn't have a whole lot left to pick out. Wait, there it is. I told you there was a dog on the set. You know the story behind that dog? Well, I'm going to tell you. His girlfriend, Brianna, her daughter, Aubrey, said, Kyle, you need a good luck charm. Here it is. And the dog's name? Mr. K. Well, Mr. K, it's pretty simple what Mr. K stands for. It's Kyle.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I like it all the way around. I'm a big,
I don't know. It looks maybe it's maybe it's the
guy.
Maybe it's the profile, but the dog looks a little sad.
Happier now, maybe, with a mark for Mr. K.
I think there's more good luck pieces that Aubrey's given Kyle. I heard a rumor of a butterfly or something, and I don't really know the full background of that story, but according to Aubrey, Kyle can't win unless he has one of her lucky pieces that he takes with him.
Lucky charms, absolutely. Yeah. Saw the numbers. Troop yesterday. Today, finds the pocket perfectly. Crunches the pins into the pit. Great shot from Troop. And congrats, Brianna and Kyle got a house. They're just about to finish construction outside Louisville, Kentucky. So good luck to those two. And Aubrey, of course. It's awesome.
I don't know what Guppy's going to do now that Kyle's moving. Guppy, I know you're watching.
I'm just guessing he's not going to be far behind.
He's probably going to make his way down to Florida. Come visit you and I. Oh, come on. Just a little light for Dom Barrett in second frame, leaving that shaker 8-pin. The thing about urethane is the lanes tend to transition very quickly because of the surface. That bowling ball is so dull. It beats up the front part of the lane, and then the urethane itself, instead of absorbing oil like the reactive resin balls do, it drags oil towards the pins.
2022 flashback RP, February 27th, historic AMF Riviera Lanes. Fairlawn, Ohio. Dom Barrett knocked off Chris Prater 210-189 for his ninth career PBA Tour title. Third major. That win made Dom 8th Triple Crown winner PBA Tour history. He was pumped for good reason. Also won the 2013 PBA World Championship and the 2018 U.S. Open. Major highlight for Dom Barrett. Had no tie, and right down the line, 3-6-10.
And there's that early hook I was talking about with urethane. That ball stood up very quickly. Watch this. It never pushes to the right. And you heard Dom say in the interview, he says, I'm going to try to stay in the urethane ball as long as I can.
Only down by 3 pins. Arsenal there for Troop.
Pitch black for Kyle Troop, another straight up urethane bowling ball. A lot of surface.
Perfect shot there, honoring Kobe Bryant, one of his all-time favorite athletes with his Laker look today. That was the flamboyant showman. He said it's Sunday. I'm going with Kobe.
Yeah, great tribute to one of the greats of all time. And, you know, one of the things I'd like to see come back, even though, you know, I'm a born and raised LA guy, but wouldn't it be nice for Seattle to get their NBA team back? I mean, who can forget the Supersonics? Jack Sikma with that fadeaway jumper.
72+% win percentage for Troop.
Lay down there.
Talking to it. And the ball responds perfectly. I'm with you. The Sonics are awesome. Downtown Freddie Brown, but moved on to Oklahoma City. That's how it goes.
Great shot there by Kyle Troop after the 9 spare in the first, 3 in a row, and a 23-pin lead.
But this is one great sports town. We drove from the airport.
Yeah, it really
saw
is.
The Seahawks Stadium, Mariners, of course. Kraken now. MLS had a game last night. 0-0 tie. Great bowling from Barrett here. Gonna need to charge it up to catch Kyle Troop. So to me, one of the most fascinating aspects of bowling is the ball choice and the cover stock. So at what point do you think he will make a change?
When that urethane ball starts to go highlight, the reaction starts to get a little iffy. That's when you know it's time to make the change. So he got back-to-back shots on that left lane that's hooked early. The one went through the nose. That one crosses over and goes Brooklyn. And so now I think in Dom's mind, not only the fact that he's not hitting the pocket on this left lane, the shorter of the 2 patterns, that's the Wayne Webb pattern at 38 feet. He's also trailing in the match. Remember, big opening game, 254. He doesn't have a double here in game 2 through 5 frames.
Same ball for a spare ball, too.
Well, that makes sense because he doesn't want it to hook, right? So he just backs his wrist out a little bit and throws it straight. But I think right now, I mean, you gotta be asking yourself, right? Is it time? Is it time to move into the reactive resin, maybe on that left lane only?
Inch on the left lane.
Big frame, looks for a 33-pin lead, looks for the 4-bagger. Kyle Troop looks good, looks confident. Mowed him down.
Beauty. And as we were talking about this, Don Barrett actually walked over and was having a conversation with his tour rep. Take a look at Kyle Troop from profile. The two-handed style. He's recently gone to finger inserts for his middle and ring fingers. Beautiful shot there. 6-pin goes to the sidewall, does exactly what it's programmed to do, and that's to snap the 10 out. And when that happens, you know your ball is going through the pins correctly. Let's see if we can see the inserts. Yep, right there you can see the finger inserts, something that Kyle switched to a couple of months ago.
Big change. Left lane, new pattern, same result. He's pumped. And he's got a huge lead in match 2. Five in a row. Kyle Troop, Randy, looking good to take down Don Barrett.
Kyle Troop looking to bail out another season with a season-ending victory here at the Tour Finals. He's won it before. Can he do it again?
Seventh PBA Tour Finals rolls on. Strikers Bowling Center. Angel of the Winds Casino and Resort. Spectacular facility north of Seattle, Washington. Dave, the Hall of Famer Randy Peterson with you. Continuing 5 hours of live coverage today and tonight on CBS Sports Network. When all the dust settles, we'll have a champion. Now in the second match, the Group 1 Stepladder. Top seed in this group, EJ Tackett. Top seed Group 2, Jason Belmonte. Don Barrett, finals from last year at a huge hole. Out of the break, looks for help. There's some help. Down goes the 10-pin.
You ever seen those videos of penguins like sliding on their bellies?
Yeah.
That's kind of what that reminded me of. Check this out. Head pin to the sidewall and just comes skidding across. A little nudge into the 10.
Who doesn't love penguins?
You know, they're vicious animals. You got to be careful
They
with them.
are not. That is definitely not true. All right, Barrett obviously is in a major need of strikes to cut it to 33. Okay, great shot.
Well, his chances are slim and none. Slim's still hanging around. Kyle Troop working on a 5-bagger. You know what happens after you have 5 in a row and you get one more?
What happens?
Well, that's 6 in a row, or as I like to call it, a Pabst Blue Ribbon 6-pack alert, baby.
Kyle strikes here and win $1,000. Sponsored by Pabst Blue Ribbon of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Please remember to drink responsibly. Good setup there. It was good teamwork, I thought.
Just trying to work well with you, Dave. Come on, Kyle.
How about it, KT? Oh, yeah! Cha-ching!
Oh, what a great side. Serving up some ham buns and some 6-packs. Right in between second and third arrow. Kyle Troop perfect right there for a 6-pack. The Bob Ross of bowling.
I mean, there have been some really good signs this week.
You can't really say that anymore.
Yeah, he looks so different.
Yeah.
He keeps a pick with him, as we saw earlier. With that huge year in 2021. Player of the Year, PBA Tour record, $496,000.
Yeah, I mean, can you? The first words that come to mind is tax shelter.
All right. 60 feet to success for Troop. Troop. There it is. He is dominant over the Dominator. And running away with match 2. 7-bagger. That win probability is pretty high for Troop right now.
Jeez.
So here's one for you. We had a nice chat with Dom before the show yesterday. Take a look at that last shot.
Why do we have to take a look at this? No, thank you.
Got the 8-pin. It's going to be all right. He said he recently listened to a podcast, and a Teddy Roosevelt quote was brought up: "Comparison is the thief of joy." And he thought that was applicable to this event because of all the great bowlers around him. Didn't want to compare himself to what Tackett's done this year, or Jason Belmonte, or Simonson with his 2 wins. Bottom line, he wanted to just be himself, focus on Dom Barrett.
Yeah, and I think
winning a messenger competition.
I think it's a great accomplishment for all 8 players to get here.
Do one.
Because it's over 2 seasons. You know, we've seen plenty of players have one great year, and then, you know, they kind of fall down or fall by the wayside a bit. You know, maybe have a down year because they had such a big year. But this is over 2 seasons.
Keep on trucking, Kyle Troop. About to officially wrap up the match. We go back to July of 2020. We called this one Valero Jupiter, Florida. The flow was flowing then. Kyle Troop knocked off Anthony Simonson, raced the 2 points championship match. 2-1 then, a 9/10 frame roll-up for then his 6th career PBA Tour title. And oh yeah, you pick it out. Pick it out. And Kyle looks a little different now, but the bowling's still really good. Keeps it going. A winner in match 2. And we'll move on off the stepladder.
Kyle just brought a reactive resin ball over to this pair, over to this lane. He's going to look at it right now. 2 more strikes. He shoots 290. And a lot of people at home are wondering, well, if he has a chance to shoot 290, why is he looking at another bowling ball? And the answer to that is you got to keep your options open, right? And we talk about the urethane balls all the time. They're good for however many games, right? Maybe it's 2, maybe it's 3, maybe it's 1. You got to know what your options are.
Strike streak over at 9 in a row. And Mr. K, he looks happier from that angle.
He did.
He's smiling.
Mr. K, yeah, real happy.
It's almost like the stuff he changed expression.
There's something weird going on with that.
I feel like I'm in a Twilight Zone moment right
now. I may have to go down there with a microphone and interview Mr. K.
I'm not sure you're going to get any great quotes from Mr. K. We're seeing great bowling from Kyle Troop. Wow. Very good showing here, to be sure. And a match 1 win, 254-202 over Jacob Buttriff, ending Buttriff's PBA Tour Finals. Now Troop Tackett, 2 big superstars head-to-head race the 2. We'll see who wins the group. And that's so long from Dom.
See you after the show. That's good. Here we go. Let's go, EJ.
What an effort, Kyle Troop. 278 game for Kyle. Next up, EJ Tackett. Back to Randy.
Kyle, great opening game there against Dom Barrett. Got off to a red-hot start there, and then looked at reactive resin in the 10th frame. I'll ask you the same question I asked Dom. At what point do you realize that you have to make the change and go to reactive resin?
You just got to kind of have an open mind with it. I still feel like I have good ball reaction. We're just kind of testing the waters there. Maybe 1 less shot with the urethane as well. So, we'll definitely be starting with the urethane. I feel pretty good. And, get to bowl EJ again.
All right, and everybody wants to know why the change in the hairdo.
What are you talking about? I didn't get my hair cut.
Good luck.
A little bit of a new cut. Got to get a new flow going.
Thanks, Kyle. Good luck.
Thanks, brother.
It is time, Randy, for today's PBA Tour Trivia question, sponsored by Go Bowling. Our question, how many perfect games have been bowled at the PBA Tour Finals? This is year 7. This event's history. The answer is coming up after the break. Great to be back. Second straight year, Angel of the Winds Casino and Resort here in Arlington, Washington, about an hour north of Seattle in the Strikers Bowling Center. Fabulous and packed again this year. Updated Stepladder, Kyle Troop, tremendous game, a 9-bagger, 278-215 win over Don Barrett. So now the race to 2, match 3 to see who wins Group 1, Tackett and Troop. Top 2 seeds head-to-head. Should be awesome. So let's answer the trivia question. Presented by Go Bowling, how many perfect games have there been bowled in the PBA Tour Finals history? This is year 7, as we talked about. The answer is, let's find out, Randy. Go 300 by 300 here, July 2020. Qualifying round, Jacob Buttress, 28th televised 300 game in PBA Tour history.
He did it with reactive resin, too, which we're not used to seeing Jake throw a lot, but, man, he carved him up pretty nice. And then it was Chris Vai in Allen Park, Michigan, at Thunder Bowl in just outside of Detroit. Look at Chris Vai. He's no stranger to bowling 300s on television.
Then in this building last year, we call this the CBS Sports Network. History made because Kyle Troop had one. And then Jason Belmonte had one. First time ever, 2 300 games, same day. Different shows, same event, same day. It was absolutely incredible.
It was great stuff.
Wow. So we talk about the championship in this group. It's going to be an awesome match. 2 superstars head-to-head in Tackett and Troop.
We haven't had a close match yet. You know, the 2 matches that we just watched were both blowouts. But you have to win 2 games here in this last match against E.J. Tackett and Kyle Troop, 2 heavy hitters. If they split the 2 games, they'll go to a 9th and 10th frame roll-off. This should be a lot closer than what we've seen thus far.
Got a prediction for me? These 2 have won this event before.
All right, I'll go Tackett.
Tackett. You heard it from the Hall of Famer, Randy Peterson.
Wait for the hate mail, Randy. It's coming.
Picks E.J. Tackett to win the race to 2 over Kyle Troop. 2023 PBA Tour Finals roll on. Group 2 Stepladder semifinals next. Same format for Group 2. Top seed is Jason Belmonte. He's got to win 1 match, the race to 2, to again win the group and try to repeat the feat as winner of the PBA Tour Finals. We can't wait for this match. It's Tackett, it's Troop, head-to-head. PBA Tour Finals on CBS Sports Network. Roll on next. The on-lane graphics you see, including the oil patterns, which are projected on today's lanes, courtesy of Clutch Bowling. Looking great.
Have I told you how much I love Clutch Bowling?
Not today. Go ahead.
And you know they're from the Great Northwest as well?
Right.
Just right down the road in Oregon?
Fantastic.
Love Clutch Bowling.
A 21-time PBA champion with 4 major titles, the 2016 PBA Player of the Year, E.J. Tackett.
Spectacular season. 5 wins.
11-year pro with 21 wins and 4 majors? Wow.
Can you say Hall of Fame? Tackett. Shreds the rack. Great start. Now we talk with EJ pre-match, Randy, about the mentality, the approach of the race to 2. He said, take it game by game, don't think about it, but you want to get that first game. Then the pressure's off for game 2. You feel much more relaxed and able to attack in game 2. Not worried about losing the match. We shall see how this battle of titans unfolds. Troop.
Well, I would say a little less pressure. I'd like to take a moment to pay our respects. The bowling world was saddened to hear the passing of an industry great, Bill Supper. So many great accomplishments by this man. He used to travel the world with Earl Anthony to do exhibitions. He signed me to my Storm contract 23 years ago. He was a titan in the world of bowling, and it was just such sad news to hear of his passing. Our thoughts and prayers go out to his wife Joanne, the rest of the Supper family, and Bill, you're going to be so missed.
Lay off.
Great bowling continues for KT.
All right, so layoff means don't go high. Hold your line. Hold your head. Lay off, lay off, lay off, lay off, and it does. We used to say hold back in the day, hold. Some of the guys now today in today's game say shim.
Tackett responds, trip 10-pin.
And one of the things I really love about E.J. Tackett's game is watch his hand and what it does at the finish. That open hand release reminds me a lot of the great Pete Weber. Oh.
6-10. Could have been much worse.
Simmer down now.
I like that PDW comparison. That's cool.
And Pete was famous for, that open hand. I used to ask Weber, I said, hey, Pete, when you're really trying to get on it, really trying to hook it, what do you feel in your fingers? And he goes, well, Randy, I don't feel anything in my fingers. And I said, well, how do you know that you threw it good? And he said, Randy, when I don't feel anything in my fingers. And I was like, wow, okay. And I'm sure that's the same feeling that E.J. Tackett has. When that hand opens, there's no grab.
I love the breakdown. Love the imitation of Pete, too.
Jeff Goodger, that works with us on our crew and with the PBA, he's much better at imitations and does a great Pete Weber. He can actually imitate Pete Weber's brother, John.
Wow. That is talent.
John,
That is ability.
Longtime tour director out here. One of the good guys. Hard to believe he's related to Pete. I'm kidding, Pete.
Troop looks for the first three. Got it. Oh, is he locked in? That looks really good. We talked to him a bit in the wings here pre-show, and he said, I feel confident after yesterday, not making a lot of changes. He thinks his game is at its absolute peak right now. What a time for that to happen. Hoping for a season-saving win. This is a race to 2 here. If we're tied 1-1 to determine the Group 1 winner, we'll have 9th and 10th frame roll off. See who takes it home and advances on to the championship show. That's the last show of the night. Troop keeps it going. 4 up, 4 down, front 4 for Troop. There it is.
Catch it. He wanted it to grab that hook spot and force its way deep into the 1-3 pocket. It does just that.
Tackett trying to respond.
Beautiful.
Fantastic shot.
Just efficiency of motion when you watch E.J. Tackett and take a look at his arsenal. He's throwing the Blue Coral Venom on the left lane, Venom Shock on the right lane. Both reactive resin bowling balls. No urethane for E.J.
The beer frame sponsored by Pabst Blue Ribbon of Milwaukee.
Wait, what
Wisconsin.
is it? What frame? What is it?
It's the beer frame.
Oh, it's my favorite frame.
As for the original, please drink responsibly. Group 1 leader through positioning play. And what he's in a dogfight with Troop.
And what better way to honor the beer frame than with a strike? Now listen, the only reason why it's my favorite is because it's the Pabst Blue Ribbon beer frame. Look at that rotation and that bowling ball. That thing can knock down 30 pins.
This is going to be a tremendous match. Looks for the front five here. A 22-pin lead. No help on the 10-pin. Not enough. A nudge. But a 10-pin.
Teaser messenger leads to the flat 10 or the weak 10. It's got several names. Quitter 10. Flaccid 10. They all mean the same thing.
Spare ball. No problem there. First spare shot at in the game for Kyle Troop. Lead shrinks to 11. And Tackett will look for the turkey next time he's up. Great career for Troop. Former Player of the Year, back-to-back PBA playoffs champ. But this season, he said it was this week, not his best.
This guy almost made $500,000 just a couple years ago. A single season, a record.
496,000 to be exact. Shots like that help.
He didn't like it. Ended up in a great spot, but Kyle Troop did not like that out of his hand. We've got us a great match here halfway through game one between Tackett and Troop. Stay with us.
Let's flashback July 21st, 2019, Red Rocks Hotel and Casino in Vegas. After tying one game apiece, E.J. Tackett knocks off Jacob Buttrick. 9th, 10th frame roll-off. 13th career PBA Tour title. PBA Tour Finals. Was he ever pumped? His second in 3 seasons winning the PBA Tour Finals. Did it as well in 2017. Hard to believe. Got the Barbasol look after that celebration for EJ that he went from 2019 till the beginning of 2022 without a win, but he's had a great season now. Subscribe to the PBA YouTube channel for classic telecast, tournament highlights, and exclusive content, including live streams of PBA LBC National Championships. Go to youtube.com/PBA to subscribe to the biggest bowling channel on YouTube.
Talk about the season that EJ's had. He's just under $425,000 in earnings for the season.
Out of the break, turn away, didn't like it, but wow, did he crunch the pocket.
I'm not sure he knows.
Or did he just turn away because he was happy with it?
I'm not sure he knows that hit the pocket. He may have thought it was Brooklyn.
All right.
Watch this react.
Shot.
Watch this react. He hated it. It was left and inside of target. He's like, oh no. And it ended up dead flush. I'm not even sure if EJ knows that. And that's because of all the oil that the urethane balls have taken down towards the pins. Creates that hold for EJ.
For the lead. Got it. Up 9.
EJ, go over and ask your tour rep, Brett Spangler. Okay, he did see. Brett just said, hey, do you know that went perfectly flush? He goes, yeah, I saw it on the screen. Saw it on the replay.
Troop looks for the double here. Go back in front. Lost EJ Tackett title match, something that EJ so happy about, of course, and Kyle laments. Way back to the beginning of the season. Troop. Yep. Back in front. We said it was this week, but if I'd won that match over EJ, won the first major, it could have been such a different season for me. It was career-altering for EJ to get the U.S. Open, to get the green jacket, and it sparked a Player of the Year season for Tackett. Funny how things work out. Way back on February 5th. So race the 2. Group 1 title match. Troop. Mowing him down.
Well, we said it in our last stand-up that I thought this was going to be a much tighter match, and it's sure shaping up to be just that. Troop with an 11-pin lead now through his 8th frame. Tackett getting up in the 8th, working on 4 in a row, can cut the deficit to 1 with a strike here.
Looks for another. He walks that one all the way.
I'll tell you what, that right lane, the Earl Anthony 43-footer is laying down nicely down lane for E.J. Tackett. He's got a little bit of hold left of target, and it's showing up right now just inside of 4th arrow. And that's perfectly splitting the 1-3.
They start the match. Tackett can go back ahead here with another one. We've got a Pabst 6-pack work. EJ strikes here. We'll win $1,000 sponsored by Pabst. Blue Ribbon, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Please remember to drink responsibly. Half a dozen. Oh! Okay, 4 late. $1,000 for Tackett.
Takes the lead again with that trip 4. Wow, what a hit. Double 8 spare 6 bagger for E.J. Tackett. But guess what? If Troop strikes out, he cannot lose. If both players strike out, it'll be 279, 278, and the win would go to Troop here in game 1. Best of 2.
Troop's response is stubborn 4-pin.
Just a little early check with that urethane bowling ball for Kyle Troop, and just enough to leave that 4-pin. The same one that E.J. Tackett just tripped in the 9th frame.
Tackett wins this year U.S. Open with Shawnee Classic, also the Jackson Classic, Cheetah Championship of the World Series of Bowling, and then the World Championship. Incredible finish. You see the win probability now going to EJ's favor. Tackett beat Belmonte in the final outside Milwaukee. Dream season for EJ. Troop wants to turn the frown upside down. On the air with a win here. Trip 10-pin will help him do that.
That pin comes skipping across to take the 10 out and keep Kyle Troop's his hopes alive. 2 more in the 10th frame. He'll shoot 258. Tackett already in the 250s. If Kyle were to strike out, Tackett would need the first strike in the 10th frame.
Max scores. Coming down to the last frame. What a finish to begin our Group 1 championship match. Race to 2. So whoever loses still a shot. Tie it up and then get to a 9th, 10th frame roll off. No love on the 9-pin.
Now Tackett just needs any mark in the 10th frame to grab game 1.
Huge. Missed it. Just the mark to wrap up game 1. Like to do it right here. The scout somehow does not get to the 10-pin, or at least enough of it. You just got to make this here to wrap up the game. Gets the mark, just needs one pin on the field ball to officially wrap it up. You got to have this first, though. Okay. Made that look easy. Now just one stick, and he'll win game one in the race to 2. Troop so confident until the 10th frame of this game. See how he handles the pressure. Tackett wraps it up. It's official now. Game 1 to EJ. The satisfying moment of the match, sponsored by Snickers. Nothing satisfies like a Snickers. 9th frame. EJ Tackett. Help on the 4-pin late. Put him in position for a relatively easy finish. In the 10th. Back to Randy.
Thanks, Dave. EJ, let's go back to frame 6, right lane. You throw the shot, you turn your back on it. And I was kind of saying, well, I bet he thought that went through the nose or Brooklyn. And you looked at the monitor and saw it went high flush. What were your thoughts then?
That's just a product of the urethane going down the lane. So I know it's there now, so just able to utilize it.
Any adjustments going into game 2?
Not really. It's just keeping up with the little transition, just keep inching left.
And if you do make a move, take us through what kind of adjustments you would make.
Yeah, typically the way the lanes are right now with all the urethane that's gone down the lane, so I think I'm the only one that's actually thrown reactive so far today. It's just inching left as the ball starts to read a little bit early, but you also have to watch your speed when you move left, because if you throw it a little bit too hard, your ball's going to be pretty much in oil the entire time. So it's managing that speed when you get a little bit further left.
EJ, thanks so much. Good luck in game 2.
Thank you.
2:57 game for EJ Tackett. Runaway front runner for Player of the Year. Now Troop bum for now. Needs some help from Mr. K. Great crowd. Watching some tremendous bowling. CBS Sports celebrates Pride Month. EJ Tackett wins game 1, race to 2. A 2:57 game. If Troop wins game 2, then a 9th, 10th frame roll off to determine the Group 1 winner. Group 1 champ will take on the Group 2 winner, which comes up next on CBS Sports Network. The final show to wrap up 5 hours of live coverage.
I'm sorry, did you say 5 hours?
5 today, 4 yesterday. It's awesome.
No, like 5 hours? Like in a row?
In a row. Troop, game 2. Yes.
And Troop staying with the urethane ball, Dave. EJ Tackett is in his wheelhouse, and we've seen him do it time and time again where the other players use urethane. He's the only player to use reactive resin. He feeds off of their transition. Those urethane balls create down lane hold for this man. Tons of power, lots of speed. EJ Tackett.
Starts game 2 in style.
Booyah. Boom.
Absolutely tattoos the rack. Those pins had no chance whatsoever.
2:57 starter for EJ Tackett as we take a look at profile. Look at that position, shoulders wide open, and then the big cupped elbow and wrist at the bottom of the swing. There's that snap, and then that open hand. He's just a tremendous athlete, creates so much power.
Left lane. Oh, comes in high and leaves a lot. 3, 6, 7, 10, a split. Big challenge.
Well, EJ's going to try to get his bowling ball to the right side of the 3-pin and cut it over into the 7. He's working on a strike, so if he converts here, no count lost.
Open frame.
Big open, big chance for Kyle Troop.
Game changer. And Troop knows it on the bench. 2:57 game for Tackett, his best so far at the PBA Tour Finals this year. 2:55, the best prior. In game 2 of positioning play yesterday. Troop got that major in 2021. Player of the Year. Brilliant season.
Oh, come on.
9-pin.
Come on. Let's not start that stuff. Good thing this isn't cable. Have to put the kids to bed. Some of the language.
No problem there. Single pin spare conversion for Kyle.
Kyle Troop, a two-handed specialist, doesn't use his thumb, and we always equate that with power, right? Interestingly enough, E.J. Tackett actually creates more power with his thumb in it, but he's a very unique cat, and not too many create the power that E.J. Tackett does using their thumb.
Extraordinary athlete. Scratch golfer. Troop.
Shot.
Perfect.
Good shot. We need to look in on the mascot and see what's going on over there. Why is Mr. K, why does he have his back to the pins? I don't get that. Kyle?
Maybe we'll change your positioning for Mr. K. Want to face Kyle? Conversation maybe to get some better mojo after losing the first game. Arsenal for Tackett.
Yep. All right, his Arsenal. That's Venom Shock on the right lane. He's using Blue Coral Venom on the left lane. Beautiful shot here on the right. That right lane's really developed into something very special for E.J. Tackett. Now let's see what type of adjustment he makes on this left lane. Remember, he talked about it in his interview, these micro adjustments that you have to make and stay on top of.
Left lane, Tackett. Whoa.
Beauty.
Oh, baby. Locked into the 1-3 pocket. Shrapnel remains in the pit.
I mean, he's seen this all season long, where the urethane balls create this hole down lane for him. And so now it comes down to making the adjustments when he has to, and then execution.
Fourth frame for Kyle. Go by 14. Seeks a double. It's high.
Oh, boy.
And that's a disastrous split instead.
All right, I'll take that one. That's deserved. The rest of this trash, though. Just keep in.
3-4, 6-7.
Same kind of deal that Kyle Troop tried to shoot at, the 3, 4, 6, 7. He's going to try to cut the 3 into the 4, 7. The ball will take out the 6. But you heard Kyle say it. All right, bad shot. I got to pay the price.
Tough one. Almost.
Try.
It was. 4-pin stands, open frame, so each with an open. And now an 8-pin lead for Tackett.
Needed to cut it just a little bit more to cover both the 4 and the 7. And Kyle Troop, after the opening, falls behind by 8 to Tackett. Must win here, game 2 for Kyle Troop.
That's what you do. What a shot. Kyle Troop. Perfect. Double. And now with an 8. There's Mr. K. Helping channel the positivity from outside Louisville, right?
Well, that right lane looks real chummy for E.J. Tackett. Unfortunately, he has to finish on the left lane. But I think he can pretty much have his way on the right lane. plenty of hold on that lane for him. He doesn't have to force the ball to the right. And that's because of the urethane and what it's developed for him.
Looking for a second player of the year season. Boy, would it be sweet to cap off the PBA Tour Finals with a victory.
No way.
Hang on a minute.
God.
The 4-7-10 split.
Wow.
Yikes.
So the shot looked like it got a little farther right. See that? And then overhooked. 4-7-10. He's going to try to cut that 4-pin over into the 10. But to give it right back to Kyle Troop, working on a 3-bagger. Oh no, chops the 4 straight back and loses count.
7-10 stand, game changer. 2 opens, Tackett, 1 for Troop, so it's a 1-pin match here in game 2 in the race to 2. Tackett won game 1. Troop trying to stay alive and win group 1.
I don't want it, you take it.
The 2023 PBA Tour Finals on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Go Bowling. For friends and family fun, log on to GoBowling.com to find a center near you. And by Guaranteed Rate. With same-day mortgage, you go from application to approval in as fast as 1 day and close on your dream home in as little as 10 days. Learn more at Rate.com.
A trophy, big prize money. Play some PBA Tour history on the line. Here today outside Seattle. We're on alongside the Hall of Famer Randy Peterson, our entire fantastic crew on the PBA Tour, watching very tight. Game 2, race to 2. Tackett won game 1. 1 pin separates the 2 out of the break. Some open frames, problematic for each. Troop.
Oh. Ooh. Right-handers, 2 best friends. Kicking out the 10 and tripping the 4. Kyle did just that while he was working on a strike. And what a great time for that to happen. Kyle retakes the lead now. He is up by 9. During the break, he did bring a reactive resin ball over to the TV pair. E.J. Tackett without a spare here in game 2. Kyle Troop with just 1.
2 opens for Tackett. 2nd and 6th frames.
1 for Troop.
Has to go by 19, 7th frame. Looks for the turkey. Oh, 6-10.
Come on, man. You got to make it better than that.
Almost disaster. 7-pin falls late. Nice break for Kyle, but still a lot of work left. You can't turn your back on the 3-6-10. Got to pay it respect. Perfect.
Paying on to Kobe Bryant, big Laker fan. Big spare, it's the guaranteed rate. Spare of the game. Want to get moving fast with same-day mortgage? You can go from application to approval in as little as 1 business day. Time to get your dream home crazy fast. Learn more at Rate.com.
No.
3-6-10 for Troop. What a season for Tackett.
Yeah, he could probably strike on the right lane with a blindfold right about now, but the left lane has proven to be a bit tricky. 2 big splits, 2nd and 6th frame on that left lane for Tackett. You would think that the move would be for Tackett to move his feet and his target left. Try to find a little bit more oil down lane.
So the win probability. Looks for the lead again. 8th frame, got it.
Well, that's exactly what he just did. He moved in with his feet and his target to try to find a little more oil in the middle part of the lane. He executed perfectly, made the right move, and it's 10 back.
Win probability adjusts shot by shot now. Another tight finish like we had in game one. Down 4, works on a spare. 8-frame, Troop. Knock on the 10, down it goes.
Troop staying committed to urethane. He's pot committed. And it's when you push them all into the center of the table.
I'm in.
See the players using that chamois and working those bowling balls, right? To get that oil off. You think about how many times they rotate that 15-pound bowling ball in their hands throughout the course of a tournament. And then throughout the course of a year. How many times they've held that weight, spinning that ball. Why don't you Google that, Dave?
Thousands and thousands.
Oh, my goodness.
Pitch black there, saw it, the new grip. Troop. Big change. Kyle Troop.
Yeah.
7 with a chance to take the lead.
Again, the pesky left lane. That ball looked like it slowed down and it went just a bit high, leaving the fast 8 for Kyle Troop. Right there. And after a barn-burning game one, the pace has actually slowed down a bit now. Max score for E.J. Tackett looks like 229. Max score for Kyle Troop, 205. E.J. Tackett, driver's seat right now. Getting up on that right lane, his favorite of the two, in my opinion.
For a 14-pin lead. Foundation frame looks for the turkey to really take charge.
Oh!
Cross the deck to take out the 10.
All I saw was yellow flags flying in from everywhere because that was unnecessary roughness on the 10-pin. Watch this. Just a straight-up mugging.
That kind of power, kind of rev rate generates amazing pin action. 17-pin fill in the 10th to win it. Looks to start that.
Oh, my.
Good shot. 10-pin. Wow.
Oh, my goodness. I was going to say he just aced that one for ring 10. All right. He's made it a million times. Game one, he had to do the same thing. Left the 10-pin, needed to convert to win game one. He did just that one more time.
God dang it, EJ.
And he missed it.
What are you doing, bro?
Unbelievable.
You got a chance.
What are you doing?
Unbelievable.
EJ.
Equivalent to a layup for an NBA player. I mean, it's right up there.
No.
And some of those old demons, unfortunately, returning for EJ in this spectacular 2023.
The unthinkable just happened.
2 strikes and 2 needed here for Troop. Looks for the first. Got it.
6 got just enough for the 10. Needs one more just like it. And this could be one of the biggest turnarounds that we've seen in quite some time. If Troop strikes on this next shot, he'll need just 2, and we'll go to a 9th and 10th frame roll-off.
Win probability still in EJ's favor. Striking 2 to win game 2. Can he do it? Kyle Troop. He did it! Incredible!
Wow.
Now just 2 pins to win the second game and turn the tables in shocking fashion on Tackett. Two for the win. Got that, got 10. We're going to roll off. What's better than this? 1 game each in the race to 2. Now the 9th, 10th frame roll off to follow.
The rule is 1-1 tie must be decided by a 9th to 10th frame roll off. PBA Tackett Army.
Somehow, as we're check out the rules, Randy. EJ Tackett has got to rebound emotionally from that collapse.
Well, EJ gets the choice of starting the lane in position, and it looks like he's going to let Kyle Troop start this on the left lane, which means that EJ will bowl right lane first and then finish on the left lane.
So let's do it again. 9th and 10th frame. What's better? It's the first of 2. Hit on the 10. Down it goes.
Remember, Kyle just finished game 2 on the right lane, and he was perfect.
Good, buddy.
Somehow, some way, Tackett has got to recover from what just happened. Equalizer. Got it. That's what you do when you're EJ Tackett. Now the all-important 10th frame. If we're tied, single frame to follow. Let's keep going until we have a winner in Group 1. Tackett's 10. No help on the 10.
So it's hooked from there every time, but that time?
I thought the strategy was interesting as well. He's so locked in on the right lane. I thought the right lane was the better of the 2. EJ could have chosen to start on the left lane and finish on the right lane. It did just the opposite.
Hey.
Won't miss that one.
If only that would have happened in game 2, we wouldn't be having this conversation. It's amazing how things turn around and how quick they do.
Gosh, dang it.
Important shot here.
Really wants this. Gets it.
All right, if Troop goes spare strike, we'll have a tie, and then we'll go to a 1-ball roll-off. If he strikes first ball on this right lane, Troop's going to knock off EJ Tackett, and we'll face the winner of Group 2.
Striking 6 to make it official. All EJ can do is sit and watch.
Troop 5 in a row on this right lane to end game 2.
Would love another one here. Got it! Kyle Troop! Oh, baby!
Right there, baby! Oh, I ain't going nowhere yet! I ain't going nowhere yet!
Incredible bowling. Takes advantage of EJ's mistake at the end of game 2. Needs 6 here, and he wins Group 1. You'll get that. Got 8, got the win. Kyle Troop knocks off E.J. Tackett and ends a bid for E.J.'s third career PBA Tour Finals title. Kyle trying for his second in dramatic fashion.
Great match, brother. Congrats on a great year and player of the year, brother. You're the best.
It took the 9th, 10th frame roll off, but Kyle Troop, who told us this week he's trying for a season-saving win at the PBA Tour Finals.
Right there, baby!
He gets close with a big win over Tackett.
The 2023 PBA Tour Finals on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Go Bowling. For friends and family fun, log on to GoBowling.com to find a center near you. And by Guaranteed Rate. With same-day mortgage, you go from application to approval in as fast as 1 day and close on your dream home in as little as 10 days. Learn more at Rate.com.
Incredible bowling, Kyle Troop. 27 of 36 strikes for him through 2 matches. E.J. Tackett, 10th frame, needed this 10-pin, which, as we talked about, is free throw, it's a layup, it's as easy as you get. Missed that 10-pin. Kyle Troop took advantage.
Right there, baby!
And the 9th, 10th frame roll-off won that one, and 2-1, Randy. A happy Kyle Troop right now, isn't he?
Guys, look at this. I mean, this kind of says it all, doesn't it? Kyle, I mean, we all thought you were left for dead, and then EJ misses that 10-pin. What went through your mind when that happened?
Honestly, I thought the match was already over. You know, he's bowling unbelievable. Best season we've seen in a long time. I did remember he stuck a little bit on a 10-pin yesterday, so, like, maybe there was hope. But, you know, once that happened, luckily I was still in my process. I was talking to my guy, Mr. K, here, and tried to step up and make a couple good shots.
Well, at one point, Mr. K had his back to the pins. What was that all about?
Well, I needed somebody to talk to, Randy, because we were making a couple bad shots, especially on the left lane, which I really liked all the way through the whole match. And I kind of found something on the right lane there, made another move, and, you know, felt comfortable again like it was on the fresh.
Congratulations, Kyle. Good luck. If you had your choice to face anybody in Group 2, who would it be?
I'll keep that to myself. Randy.
All right. Hey, remember, take this from Kyle Troop, folks. Never give up.
Never give up, baby.
Good. Kyle Troop, Mr. K, and the slogan, pumped up. He advances to the championship match. Incredible finish to show number 1, Day 2 PBA Tour Finals. Now for Randy Peterson, the entire crew, it's Dave Ryan saying so long for now. We're back in just a moment. Back after the break to bring you more of the PBA action. PBA Tour Finals continues from Arlington, Washington. It's been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Fantastic finish for that guy, Kyle Troop, through to the championship match.